They need to see in this film how we've been treating American citizens who did no harm, who broke and stole no property that day. Folks that didn't even go in the building, or folks that just followed others in walking around. A lot of those are your clients. Now, what I wanted to know from you is this 1512 ruling. Why is the DOJ dragging their feet? I thought this was supposed to be right away. Hey, SCOTUS ruled. Now we got to talk about these sentences.
Sure. So it's a great question. The reason why the DOJ is dragging their feet here, it's simply because they can. This is a matter of enforceability, or the ability to enforce the Supreme Court ruling. So what do I mean by that? The Supreme Court limited the charge, the 1512 charge, to what's called paperwork crimes. Mm-hmm. The DOJ knows they have D.C. judges and a D.C. jury. So what they're going to say is that this person who showed up and trespassed, this person who showed up and pushed an officer, this person who showed up and entered through a window or walked around in the Capitol building, took a walk in the rotunda, took a selfie, what they were really intent on doing was disrupting the electoral process with the mob. They were after the ballots. They were after the paperwork. It doesn't so much matter what they did. What matters is what was in their heart and in their mind.
Oh,
and war crimes, Dan. That's what this is about. It's very dystopian. This is what they're doing. We're not going to see a big victory here when it comes to the January 6th stuff until Trump gets back in office. When Trump gets back in office, I'm confident to a fair degree that one of his first acts that he's going to do is he's going to pardon the January 6ers, especially the ones that have been overly prosecuted, overly incarcerated for ridiculous things.
When you consider the estimated 30,000 rioters that showed up in cities in the summer of love 2020, that we've got plenty of video, they did a hell of a lot more than push on a cop at a barricade. Okay, how about in Chicago when they froze water bottles and were hitting them in the frickin' head? One cop got brain damage. Did we ever arrest any scumbags for that? Are they still in jail today? Hell no. But if you were pulling on a metal barricade that day, you're in jail for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. You didn't even touch the cop. You just shook the barricade, and they're still in prison. This is insane, Joseph.
It is insane. One side has license, and they're being funded. You remember in California, Dan, when they were showing up to the protests and there was rock crates are full of rocks. They were handing out all types of tactical gear in the streets. Portland, Seattle, 100 days of rioting, so
jumping
on
out
and
of
so
the U-Hauls
forth.
with their bats and their shields and everything. We saw all that video. They were paid for.
Militarized protests.
Yeah, just like this week in our capital. They were paid for. We saw the big white buses, them getting off and open up the sides and pulling out their signs and flags and weapons, and they clashed with cops. I saw a video of them tossing a cop, throwing a cop, pushing on barricades, punching at them. And they got their charges dropped already in 24 hours.